What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Ice Spice. You know, I don't really talk about Ice Spice that much. There's not a lot going on. But one of the things I've noticed with her consistently is that she gets into these relationships in order to generate buzz. Now, apparently her and NFL player Sauce Gardner have gone official. Apparently they've officially started dating. There was actually an article that was posted back in February of this year that said they could possibly have been dating. And the reason why I find this whole thing comical is because, you know, Ice Spice was supposed to be the next big thing, right? I knew, without even looking at her most recent album sales, we're going to get into that. I knew that she wouldn't last very long, and I knew that her career was going nowhere. She was going to be a one-hit wonder, and that she might as well just embrace the influencer lifestyle, because that's all she does. I mean, you see her out here with Taylor Swift. When I look at Ice Spice, I don't see a rapper. I see an IG influencer trying to pretend to be or trying to get into the rap business. Right? She was known for the signature curves and the red hair, which people are saying the red fro isn't real. But I just think that, you know, she's flopped so badly that she now is getting into a relationship with Sauce Gardner publicly, even though there was an article put out there back in February that she was possibly dating him. Now, let me say this. She might as well go this route because there's really nothing left for Ice Spice in music. Now she can twerk as much as she wants to, travel as much as she wants to, because no one's interested in her music. Her latest album, which is called Y2K, I'm Just a Girl, first week sales was 4,800 units in the first week. 48. They said that was shockingly low. As a matter of fact, let me read a little bit from this article from Hot New Hip Hop. It said Ice Spice capped off her 2024 by releasing Y2K, I'm Just a Girl, deluxe version to her July album, but it seems like it came at a bad time. Moreover, new reports suggest the project sold a measly 4,800 units in its first week, which is very low, even in a music industry environment that positions streaming as the main consumption model, thus lowering wholesale performance. However, despite many fans clowning this or speculating on this perceived drop-off, there are a couple of factors that could explain this. One is how these numbers might only account for a handful of songs on the project as a whole, as singles for it had previously released. Well, whose fault is that? Her album sold 4,800 units because she doesn't have real fans. She's no different than Meg Thee Stallion and Lotto and all these other women who don't sell. The only female rapper who's been able to sell is Glorilla. Glorilla actually has real fans. She does, which is why she's able to tour and do shows. The rest of these women can't because they have no audience. That Meg Thee Stallion tour was a complete failure. You're not going to see her go on tour anytime soon. When you look at Ice Spice, this is a female who wants everything that comes with rap, but she doesn't want to put the time in. Because if she actually put the time in, it probably would have done better. But again, this is what happens when you rely on your looks to build your audience. She has 11 million followers on Instagram. I honestly thought it would have been more. Because you go to her Insta, she's showing off her body. She did lose weight. She regained it back because she lost the curves. She did it to help save her career, but her career is cooked. And this is why she has to get into a relationship with Sauce Gardner. She got into a relationship with a UK rapper by the name of Central C. This was back in the middle of last year while she was promoting music then. She did it to promote something. And the funny thing is, she's always been tied to her producer. It was a guy that she's been dating throughout her whole career. She gets into these relationships for PR. She gets into these relationships so that she's able to use it to promote something. And I just think Ice Spice 15 minutes is over. And I think she just needs to go ahead and embrace being an influencer. She needs to go ahead and embrace being an Instagram, IG model, whatever. Because the music career is done. No one cares to listen to Ice Spice. People like looking at you. People may like your posts, comment very thirsty on there, but again, you're going to be just another female who's on OnlyFans in a couple of years, if not sooner, because the music career ain't popping, and it ain't going to be popping. That's why you have to get into a relationship with Sauce Gardner. Y'all got to understand something. I wasn't even thinking about Ice Spice until I saw that she got into this relationship with Sauce Gardner. I wasn't even thinking about her like that. That's how irrelevant she's become musically. I think a lot of these female rappers get into the business for the wrong reasons. They get into it because they want to be famous. They get into it because they want to make money, and they want to date rappers and athletes. They want to be groupies. They don't care about making music, building fans. This is why Nicki Minaj will always run circles around these women. Cardi B was at one point kind of close, but she threw it away so she can go chase around Offset. But Glorilla's probably the only one that has figured it out. She's the only one right now that has figured it out. All these other women have fallen into the trappings of fame and notoriety, dating rappers. Look at Meg Thee Stallion. She's dating NBA player that no one ever heard of. No disrespect to him, but that's all they care about is dating famous celebrity men. And this is why Nicki Minaj, whether you like her or not, she's always going to run circles around these girls because they don't care about making music. They don't care about building of fans and a following, right? They just care about the trappings of fame and money and traveling and dating celebrities. That's all these women care about. That's why their careers flounder. If they would have taken the 15 minutes of fame that they had and utilized it properly, they could have stretched it out. But now she's just another female that at first was a rapper, but now is just an influencer. Telling you right now, I would not be surprised you start seeing these women on OnlyFans. You start seeing them either becoming streamers, getting on Twitch and being half nude for the tips and the donations and all that. For the subscriptions. That's what you're gonna see. That's what Ice Spice is gonna be. She's gonna be arm candy to these athletes. She gets into these relationships when she's trying to rebuild buzz. This is why she lost all the weight, apparently due to Ozempic. She regained it back because she knows the only time she's relevant is when she's able to show off her body. And if she's showing off her body and no one cares, that's a problem. This is why talent will always win. Gimmicks and all this other BS that these heifers try to do, it never works. You either have talent or you don't. And it's very clear that Ice Spice is another line of women who tried to come into the rap industry. Because y'all got to remember something. Years ago, this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there were people saying that rap is misogynistic and men are gatekeeping and they don't want women in rap. That was total BS. There weren't a lot of women trying to be rappers. Let's be real. They were trying to be singers. They weren't trying to be rappers. They weren't. Now, all of a sudden, you had this influx of women talking about they want to be rappers. They were allowed in. No one kept them from getting into the rap game. They were just told, listen, if you have no talent, you're not going to last. It don't matter how good you look, how big your assets are, doesn't matter. Whether you're light skin or dark skin, if you don't have talent, you're not going to last. And we have seen female rappers come and go. Very few of them actually succeed. And that's how it's always going to be because these women get into it for the wrong reasons. They don't get into it for the love of hip hop. You ask these women who their favorite rapper is, they're going to probably tell you it's Lil Wayne or somebody like that, right? Nothing against him, but I'm just saying. They're going to be very casual. They're not going to list anybody who are lyricists, anybody who are people who are actual legends in rap. They couldn't tell you. These people want to make twerk music and that's about it. No substance, no storytelling. People still want that. Kendrick Lamar is proof of that. She's just another sweetie. Sweetie! She's another sweetie. Sweetie, she followed the same formula as Sweetie. Sweetie came into rap. Of course, she was the girlfriend of a rapper. When she broke up with him, people like, okay, her music career is about to take off. Her music career went nowhere. She got exposed, not only in the booth, but she got exposed in live performances. Sweetie had every opportunity to be a main player in rap for women. They gave her every opportunity, but she blew it. She did not do what she needed to do, and that's why she's an afterthought. She can date as many rappers as she wants. She's not going to be able to get back the buzz that she had years ago after she broke up with Quavo. It's just not going to happen because there's going to be another girl that comes across here and goes viral, and another and another, right? Sexy Red is gonna go through that. I will say though, Sexy Red puts more work into her career than a lot of these other women have. I will say that about, I'm not a fan of her at all. She's put more effort into her career than I can say these other women have, because they haven't. What rappers or anybody y'all know is featuring Ice Spice on anything? Except for rappers that are trying to sleep with her. And y'all wonder why rappers in the state that it's in a horrible state. So therefore, she has no other option than to go and try to date professional athletes. If this relationship lasts into the start of the season and we start seeing her in the skyboxes, then we know that she's officially retired from rap and she just wants to be the girlfriend of an athlete. That's how this shit always ends, right? So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me throw a like the video and share. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.